the Taino, them have, we name the Mata. You see the recipe for the jerk of Boston. Yes, so it come from. You see the original jerk settings of Boston. Yes, sir. No, our ancestors would have only gone to St. Thomas. Fort Anthony was military base, and of course the colonizers headquarters. They couldn't go nowhere else. You want to head bus off down there. They have to bus. Trading posts in St. Thomas. Danvers Pen Market. Have you heard about these communities in St. Thomas? Danvers Pen Market. Trinityville Market.
Yes.
Seafort Market.
Yes.
Golden Grove Market. Port Marant Market.
Yes.
Yallas Market.
Yes.
Bowden Wharf. Port Marant Wharf. And of course, these were the years that our ancestors would have gone like the trade. The farm produces. That she never there. Banana did that for the slave people them. You know, say you have to buy me. You have to pay me for the one when I tell you. You have to have video, man.
Alright.
Straight up in my face, just chop in my face. Nanny and her people would have planted, and of course, we have. I know these plains, you know. Like how me know the front and the back of my hand. 620 acres of planting. Plant. Yeah. Because this planting come like, you already planting. A plant, me say, planting. Planting. 620 acres of planting. Nanny and her people would have planted. And that's one farm. Just one farm. We're not talking about other farm. One farm consisted of 620 acres of planting. They were self-sufficient. They feed themselves. At one point, these plantings were beneficiary to the economy of the wider Jamaica outside the Maroon enclaves. They would have been going to these places to trade, they apply their trades, and then them platinum would have reached the wider Jamaica. And when them start rain, none of them just stop. Just stop. Because them have enough plant to feed themselves. And them never have to sell nothing. But they just stick. No, I'm serious. And they would have had other planting farms, but that was the major planting farm.
So what's your farm here now? What's your farm here now?
Almost everything, you know. Comparing to even 20, 25, 30 years ago, we do small farming in small proportion, just for, like I said, for self-sustenance. They would have gone a little extra to do selling and things like that, yeah? Now, surviving, aside from cultivation, they would have been surviving from the rivers and the springs and the land in other aspect. So the fishes, shellfishes, the crayfish, the busso, they are.
Sorry, what's busso?
Busso is a freshwater snail that you find only in Portland rivers. Not all of Portland River then.
So, and this again comes back because I hear about busso soup or busso soup, but I hear that in the contents of Africa.
You only find them in Jamaica, only in a Portland River.
We hear about busso soup.
Only in Portland River.
Call it maybe
Freshwater. Yeah, man,
But we never hear about busu soup here. I've heard busu soup.
No,
in
we
the
no
context
no
of
no 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 no.
Nigeria.
I am telling you.
Me not say no, I know.
On the Buso, we have Buso Festival and all them.
What that good for?
Everything.
Busu?
What do you mean?
Everything good for everything.
Man, make your strap noise up. It's a snail, fresh water snail, or whatever ferment one thing. And when you scald them, then you pick them out one by one. And then you clean up that little part which is the waste. And then the rest of it which is very. Oh my, you see the soup is bad. You see the stew is bad.
So I would love it if we could sample.
Here, move on this one.
Man,
Yeah,
man. We're all big
we had
people.
that conversation, just
Yeah, man. Man food. Yeah, man.
Yes.
Stop it up.
So that's the context that I hear. Busu soup is. Yeah.
Now we move to another indigenous food animal, the coney.
They're still around?
Yes,
They
man.
still do what?
So we eat that?
What is it?
Somebody say me something.
Like a rabbit.
Somebody say rabbit.
Yeah,
Somebody say rabbit.
Like a rabbit.
Cheers.
It
It is the rarest of the rarest of the Hutia species. It is indigenous to us. It is endangered to us.
Yeah.
But remember me tell you,
It make a good food.
endangered.
Yeah, man, I hear it.
Yo.
I love it. So
Cook
cooning,
it
so
every way.
yeah, because that's what I'm saying.
They
I heard that
they lives in the
indigenous.
cavities of the said limestone. We use dogs and we use indigenous structure. Good afternoon. These areas.
No, man. Yeah, look here. At the
So
food,
these
the
areas,
side, just
these
corn is
areas. Oh, the corn.
Ponies, right.
We catch it. As a matter of fact, we still hunt the way our ancestors would have been hunting.
I mean, like today, they used to
Which means,
Yeah.
same way our ancestors would have been hunting from the rivers and the springs,
That's what the basket is.
that's how we hunt today. Like our ancestors would have been hunting from the land, that's how we hunt today. And basically, most of the food stuff that our ancestors would have been eating and cultivating. Of course, the banana had it after a while, and the banana come, the dasheen come, the mango them come, the apple them. No,
No, cocoa was
cocoa
here.
did that for a long time.
Yeah, cocoa was here.
The Tainos were coastal people. The Arawaks were coastal people. They were mountainous people, soft and tender, mild people.
Yes.
Delicate then. They lived on the coastal here in canoes and boats that they built from the cotton trees in the mountains. And they lived in hammocks and things like that. And their main diet was sea fish, cassava, cocoa, maize, corn, beans. Yeah? No planting, of course. No banana and them sitting and them dashing and them sitting by night. Colonial master them bring them. We have one habit that was
Coconut.
yeah, man.
Definitely, coconut. Yes.
Coconut is a Caribbean thing, Africa to Caribbean. The mommy is another thing. The paki, where every one of you, here you go again, every one of you people call it calabash. A paki name.
Patti?
P-A-K-I. Listen. That's where you go wrong. Let me explain. The paki, the name was given paki by the Harawak, the Tainos, the Harawak.
Okay.
The twin name from Ghana is Apakiai. Paki, the fruit and the tree. The fruit and the tree green. When the fruit is ripe, it changes color, slightish, creamish or yellowish. Then it gets hard, firm.
Yes.
That's when that means the fruit is ripe. You reap the fruit. You reap the fruit. You clean the fruit. You cut it open. The inside is used for medicinal purposes.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then now when it cut and open and clean, it becomes a plate, a bowl, a dish, and of course cup. And that's called calabash. The plate, the bowl, the dish, the cup is called calabash.
Okay.
The gourd is the big one. Like that one in there, you use it for storage. Wine
So same family, but it's different.
are the same thing.
Yeah.
But the
it's
one
just-
for storage is called the
the
gourd,
gourd.
the
Okay.
big one. We
Okay.
just cut off the little top, so you have it like a jug or a jar or whatever.
Okay.
Those now, the plate, the bowl, the dishes, it's called calabash.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah?
So the apake is the fruit itself.
Paki.
Okay.
So paki is the Cromanti language. And a pakia is the tree. Yeah? Which means the same thing. These areas, like I said, is also well protected. Different from we being autonomous. Autonomous mean the land of free, you know, and everything we unite of free, you know. We only pay for light bill and internet, and we pay for nothing, so we pay tax and nothing. Yeah, everything we need is ours. Yeah, because when the land treaty, because the peace treaty was at 1739 by Captain Kojo, formerly Kojo Town, modern day Trelawny Town, under the conductor in a Flagstaff, by the Leeward Maroons. The following year, 1740, what was signed, not specifically in this Maroon community, the Windward Maroons, which is in Charlestown in Buff Bay, by Captain Kwahu, was the land treaty, which means land was being shared between the British-led monarchy and Nani and the people, and their people known as the Maroons. But that land treaty that was signed states that the land that was being shared between the British-led monarchy and Nani and the people known as the Maroons remained autonomous to Nani and their people and their generations.
Okay.
So, explaining. Now, after the land treaty was signed and the land became autonomous, then the warriors in the Maroon army, the Windward Maroons, which was led by Nani, was being shared between Nani and her people. So let's say the Osborne, they would have had more Maroon warriors in the Maroon army. Then each, and that's how it goes across the Maroon autonomous land, each member of a family, 4 acres. So if the Ellis had 40 people, you do the maths. 40 times 4.
Oh, right.
The Osborne has the Miners, the Downers, the Harris, and these are basically the people that have most, the Balls and all those things, the Fullers and all those people. So they would have gotten all the families would have gotten landed, but the one that has more, especially males, and not no especially male is a man thing. Maroon system no get land told, although Nani was the leader. Man is the dominant factor.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? So speaking of generations,
After Nani created, take away the power from her. No.
the British document the British archive, historical archive states that the land was shared between the British archive, the British monarchy, and Nani and the people known as the Maroons. Which means when that land treaty was being signed, Nani was very much alive.
Yeah.
The peace treaty was signed 1739, the land treaty 1740, and of course Nani dead between the late 1760s and early 1770s. Which means she lived long after the history. Live here, settle here, have them perfect life until she died naturally. Nanny would have been repelling bullets. Likewise, a lot of the male warriors. Them no literally take no bullet in their body. They repel bullets. Meaning,
Supernatural power.
yeah, the gunman them, the British gunman them fire them shot and then the shot come and that's it. She repelled. Likewise, many other warriors. Male warriors, it was Nanny alone. They would have only archived Nanny as she was the main character in what they classified as a colonial movie. You get what I mean? For us, it's natural fact. So
your children here go to school here and everything happens here, or they go out of the area?
yes, they go to school here. We have an infant school which is basic school and we have the primary school. So after primary school, they pass them exam, which the ramp will be bright. There is no time that this school has a graduation, the Morton primary school has a graduation. And we don't have this and upward of teach me, which is the major top high school in Portland. Portland only comprehensive. There are private school also, then we have Happy Grove. And then it comes down a little notch, then you have Ken Wright. And then you have another arm of the Portland only secondary, which is in fellowship. Okay? Then really have Batman around with them. Which each time it changes for that period that they are in grade 5, we took them under our arms. We do like 4 or 5 songs. We teaches them to dance those songs, to sing those songs, to the beat of the drum, the blowing of their bang and the languages.
Or you teach them the culture?
Yeah. Therefore, when we have celebration and major people, visitors who visit it, then they perform. Now, to be honest, we are known as the chromatic people, which we master. The Morton Maroons. The chromatic that practices very, very difficult for anybody to learn. Most people who knows it, like as we speak now in our time, it's in your bloodline. So we teaches the tweet. Knowing the tweet, then it is easier for them to traverse into the chromatic player practices. It is very, very difficult. Because Nani and her people would have found the chromatic player practices which they perfected.